Ida for walking out of my baby shower after Mil denied me food. Before I start, I'd like to say that I'm a bit of a big girl. No shame in that. I love myself just the way I am, and I have been living by the motto, be you, everybody else is taken. Mil, DH's mom, always made comments about my weight. Ever since I got pregnant, she started making more comments while low-key shaming me for what I eat. Whenever I visit, she'd give me smaller plate, portion, cup, even spoons. She also buys me small-sized clothes, even though I'm in my second trimester, and those clothes don't fit. My Sil decided to throw me a baby shower after my DH denied when my sister offered to throw me one. The whole side of my in-laws are invited. Mom refused to come after what DH said to my sister, another story for later. I got there and Mil was in charge of serving food to the guests. All that was served was cakes and juice. I got hungry from talking and I got up to eat some cake. The second I put my hand on the cake, Mil grabbed my arm and said that I'd gained enough weight already, and that if I keep this up her son will not be happy living with a large horse. I was shocked. I didn't know how to react, especially since she said this out loud. She looked at me in a sorry not sorry kind of way. I put the cake down and grabbed my stuff and started walking. Her daughter stopped me saying I can't leave mid-party and embarrass her like that. I told her to tell her mom to leave as she wanted me to stay, but she went off and said, "Are you crazy? She's my mom. You want me to kick her out in front of everybody?" I turned around and kept walking. I called mom to come pick me up and went home. DH came home looking furious. He asked me to explain what I did at the baby shower and why. I mentioned what his mom did, and he started ranting about how I fucked this up over something so minor. I told him it wasn't minor in my opinion, since she literally cut me off food and didn't let me eat when I was hungry. He said that his mom meant well, and that I needed to get rid of this easily offended Mincet immediately before I pass it down to her son. He said the cakes are essential foods, and that this was not a good enough reason to walk out the baby shower, that his mom and sister put a ton of money, time and effort into. He said that I had hours to call and fix things up, but I refused. I went to stay with my mom because he wouldn't stop pressuring me to call and apologize for what happened. He kept talking about how pissed and let down his mom and sister feel, and called me ungrateful and spiteful for doing what I did. Am I overreacting here? More info. A lot of you asked what my DH said to my sister, and what was the argument about. The answer is, my sister is infertile. Has been for years. DH claimed that she's become obsessed with the baby, simply just because she bought me stuff for the baby as gifts, and wanted to throw me a baby shower. My sister is a great person, and I have no doubt that she only did all that just because of how great she will be as an aunt. My DH kept insisting there was something wrong with her, which led to a fight between them, and he ended up calling her a possessive and my mom kicked him out and my sister cut contact with him. The issue got worse with my Bill, her husband, arguing with DH as well.
NTA, so your own sisters wasn't allowed to throw you a baby shower, which then caused your mom not to attend. Instead, your husband allowed his sister to throw one, where your Mil bullied you. Is his family trying to control you, isolate you from your family, or is this a once-off? Edit. I made this comment and logged off. I've come back to an overwhelming response. Thank you to everyone for the awards. I just hope Op can set some boundaries with her husband about his and his mother's terrible treatment. Mil is likely to make comments to their child if they are overweight, which is concerning too. Op needs to be careful, because that's exactly how it sounds. Please take caution, Op. Your situation with these people sounds extremely toxic and dangerous. Don't let your DH manipulate you into isolation from your family, because that's exactly what he's attempting to do. This is not a man you want to raise a child with. NTA. This is a husband problem, not a Mil problem. Husband is using flimsy excuses, like sister bringing gifts, to isolate Op from her family, and then leaves Op to be bullied and harassed by his family of origin. Alarm bells should be going off. This is more than a slice of cake, it's a full-on trap. My Sil decided to throw me a baby shower after my DH denied when my sister offered to throw me one. The whole side of my in-laws are invited. Mom refused to come after what DH said to my sister, another story for later. I feel there is more to the story, and I wonder why Op was okay that her husband put stop on baby shower her sister wanted to make. Info. Op, did your sister did something that offended you or your husband? Why you are okay with him not allowing your sister baby shower party? NTA for leaving your baby shower. Your Mill is out of her mind as she thinks refusing pregnant woman food is okay. And your husband too, he needs to be on your side of this, for God's sake you are carrying his baby. If you can't get him on board then you need to rethink this marriage, because he'll never be on your side if he continues to behave like mommy's little boy. Good luck. NTA for sure, but she has a husband problem, not a Mill problem. Divorce his ass. NTA. But why are you with this man? Mill is downright toxic, and in the very least your baby's father should be stepping in to defend you, not add to the BS. This is red flag city. If they are treating you like crap before the baby even comes, how do you think you will be treated after? They have absolutely no respect for you and are treating you like an incubator. After the baby comes you won't be able to do anything right, and they will make you feel even worse about yourself. Worst of all, they will talk down to you in front of your son, so he will grow up thinking it's okay to treat you and others like that too. If I were you, I would GTFO. You have excellent self-love, don't let them take that from you, and protect your child from those people. Heaven forbid he gets a little pudgy as he grows up, because then he will be made to feel like he is less too. But he won't have built up the thick skin it takes to deal with them like you have, and what it does to him could be much worse. I grew up being called fat by my mother and developed an eating disorder that I still struggle with today. Exactly. NTA presently, but YTA moving forward if you do not address this immediately, for your own sake, as well as that of your baby and rest of your family. I am of the belief that the nuclear divorce option is offered too easily on Ida, but this woo boy. Hubby, 1. Barred your sister from throwing a shower for her own sibling, and 2. Disparaged her in the process, 3. Lets his mom slur and humiliate you on a regular basis, and 4. Blames you for getting upset. Your husband is permanently latched onto your Mill's teats like an overgrown cola, and does not give you the courtesy and respect he would owe to strangers, much less the devotion owed to a pregnant spouse. Build a transporter, learn translocation magic, getting a running start on a skateboard. Whatever it takes to get the F out. NTA his mother starves, insults and body shames you a pregnant woman, his sister guilt trips you over setting boundaries, and he has the fucking nerve to make you the bad guy. Girl, run. As long as the baby is still in your womb, run. Don't settle for a jerk like that. Don't let your son learn that this is how to treat women. The only good thing that will ever come out of this marriage is the child you are already carrying.
Ida for refusing to bake cupcakes for a potluck, even if it's box mix. My 26F fiancé Alex's 29 meters college friends all get together for potlucks every once in a while, including partners' kids. Basically how they work is the food gets divided up, and people bring or make something specific. I've attended one earlier this year, and we were in charge of bringing all the soda. They're planning another one later this month. I just started my residency and shifts go up to 12 to 14 hours. I love what I do, but it does get exhausting, and I'm usually pretty tired by the time I come home. A couple of days ago Alex told me that he said we can bring cupcakes for the potluck. There'll be 30 to 40 people, so I'll have to bake 40 cupcakes. I was confused because he never discussed this with me, and I don't have time to bake. I don't even think I'll be able to attend depending on my rotations. Alex said that's fine, he understands if I can't attend, but we still have to contribute something. I told him to buy a cake, but he said we already copped out last time buying soda, so I should make something. The batter doesn't have to be from scratch, and he'll take box mix. We argued over this and I replied that I can't bake anything. Alex got kind of upset and said that he knew this would be my response, and next time he'll just say no to attending to keep the peace and avoid the chaos. I got pissed and ended up staying over at my sister's for the day. She said he was a dick. My parents heard about this and said that I overreacted. Box mix doesn't take long, and I shouldn't have walked out like that. So was I the
NTA. Why the heck can't Alex bake the cupcakes? His friends, his party, and he was the one who offered to bring them. And, more importantly, why did it never occur to either of you, or your families, that Alex should be the one to make the cupcakes? NTA. He should have checked with you first. Also, totally acceptable to buy cupcakes. There are no rules saying everything must be homemade. NTA info. What exactly did Alex do to the witch that cursed him so he couldn't make cupcakes from a box mix? But seriously, if you're working a bunch, I don't have the time or inclination to make a bunch of stuff. I don't see why buying something is wrong. And if your partner thinks that buying something is wrong, and you don't have to go if you don't want to, why isn't he stepping up? He said he would bring cupcakes. He can make cupcakes or buy cupcakes. I don't understand how this is on you at all. NTA, and this makes me wonder how much else you are expected to do with your long hours. Yup. The biggest issue here is, why on earth would he assume that you would do the baking for his friend group? Because his penis would get in the way during baking, so of course he can't be expected to bake. The second biggest issue. Not sure what his job is, but anyone who's even been around someone in residency knows they have no time whatsoever. How did he possibly think it was okay to assume you would have time for this? And once you said no, that it was okay to push? Doc, you don't have a cupcake problem, you have an entitled male problem. NTA. He's volunteering your time for something that he wants to do with his friends and expects you to cater to them even if you aren't going. If he's fine with just a box mix, then he can make it himself. People volunteering others is always in a whole move. Ada. As someone who bakes occasionally, even box mix cupcakes would take an hour or two. That's assuming that you have enough room in the oven and cupcake pans to make all 40 plus at once, and don't have to do them in batches, which would take significantly longer. NTA. Your residency and health are much more important than this potluck. Why can Alex not bake these 40 cupcakes from a mix? How many boxes even is that? I'm sure it's more than one, and I'm going to go out on a wild limb and assume you don't have an oven designed for large batch baking, meaning you risk ruining everything if you try to bake it all at once. But why can't Alex bake them? Is it your responsibility as a woman or some other misogynistic excuse? You're never going to get enough sleep again as it is his doctor probably. He knew you would react this way? You copped out last time? I would seriously reevaluate your intent to form a legal union with Alex. Edited for spelling and punctuation. NTA. He volunteered without checking first, emphasis on the he. If he volunteered, this is on him to sort out. So either he can bake, or he can buy. This isn't the 50s, women don't have to do all the baking. Tell him to stop being sexist, expecting the woman to do all the household chores like cooking and bake the cakes himself, considering it is for his friends and his potluck that he volunteered the cakes for. You have absolutely nothing to do with any of it, especially as you aren't even going. This is on his shoulders. Set your boundaries now, otherwise he'll expect this of you moving forward for every occasion, whether it's for friends, family, kids, etc. NTA.
Ida for yelling at another parent during pickup. I tried to type this out without using the name, and it wasn't comprehensible. So if anyone I know sees this, no you didn't. Here's what happened. My son's name is Robin. It's just those 5 letters. It's not a nickname. The mom of one of the kids in his class is convinced his name is Robert. She volunteers at pickup. I'll drive up and she'll go to get my son yelling Robert, Robert. Now, the first few weeks I brushed it off because learning the names of a bunch of different kids is hard. I would just tell her when she came back over with my son, actually his name is Robin. I've said this almost every single day for over a month now. Last week I saw her at a school function and went up and introduced myself and basically said, I'm Robin's father. You might recognize me from pickup. By the way, his name isn't Robert. Her response confounded me. She said Robin is a girl's name, it's unisex, but it's way more common for boys, so what? And not a good nickname for Robert, so she'll call him his real name instead. I tried to correct her, since Robin isn't a nickname, but she wandered away. The next time she walked up to my car I got annoyed and said, I'm here for Robin. Robin. She did it again. On Friday, when she called my son Robert, I asked her what her problem was in a very loud voice. I shouted loud enough that a teacher ran over. The volunteer mom ran away, and I tried to explain. The teacher looked at me like I had 3 heads and said she would go get my son. I got an email later asking me to come in Monday for a meeting. I don't know how to approach this. Should I apologize for yelling? Should I demand an apology for the constant disrespect? Should I ask the mom not be allowed to volunteer anymore, or at least not get my son? I feel like I tried to be reasonable, but maybe I was too sensitive.
NTA just said I apologize for yelling, but I have told this mom his name is Robin for months, and she has decided his real name is Stupid and renamed him herself, which obviously is not okay. NTA. Apparently this woman has never watched Batman. Robin is completely a unisex name. I would apologize to the teacher for yelling. It wasn't her fault. I would also demand an apology from the parent. Explain that she is knowingly and deliberately harassing your son. You have asked her to stop, and she outright refused. Ask if this behavior is tolerated by teachers, principal, and school district. Make it clear that you will take this to the school board if it is not handled immediately. I'd expect an apology from her to your son and you. And something in writing from the school on how bullying is handled in the event that it continues.